few weeks, some Nigerians have been living in total darkness, no electricity. And not only that, the cost of fuel has increased, which has affected the cost of transportation as well. Life just keeps getting hard. Who's going to help us? Who's going to save us? Anyway, don't be worried because Nigerians are great at adjusting. No matter how hard life gets here, we keep adjusting. Well, we'll be looking into all of these stories and many more stories right here on the briefing room. I am Kelvin Raphael.
And my name is Adebayo. This is where we have conversations way beyond the headlines. But first off, how are you, Kelvin?
I am not exactly good.
Okay.
Honestly, you remember my last statement that Nigerians are known for constantly adjusting to hardship. It just makes me so angry sometimes because I'm like, when do we say enough is enough and we rise up and take back our country and fix our country? Because the truth is, the change we so much desire will never be handed to us. So we have to rise up and take it.
And the big question is, what about the people that are not in position of power? Are they even ready to do something?
And that is
a very important question. Welcome to the briefing room. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we have quite a number of interesting conversations to have here. This is where we have conversations way beyond the headlines. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is the briefing room right here. My name is Adebayo. Now, do not forget that you can be part of the conversation. We are streaming live on YouTube. So drop your comments and we'll take them right here on the briefing room. We start off today's conversation with the complaints from Nigerians who are experiencing severe hardship. And this is as a result of the fuel, the pump price, increase in pump price and the increase in transportation. As of this morning, fuel is currently over 1,380 naira, and in some places it's even more. Now, this is a result of the war that is happening, right? But the big question is, this has happened right now, but how can we prepare ourselves ahead? And it's not getting any easier. Now, commuters in Lagos and Abuja are facing over 30% fare hike, forcing many to spend significant portion of their income on daily travel. So I'm talking about workers, students, traders who report that transportation costs have become unbearable. And it's so painful because salary isn't increasing. And you're spending more than half, if not almost the entire salary just on transportation. And not even that the salary is enough to even take care of you. Yeah. And then you're spending everything on transportation. We have two content creators, not just two, quite a number of persons have reacted to this, but we're going to play two videos from two different content creators, Daskin Ella, that has been lamenting about the increase in the transportation. Take a look at these videos.
Sir, I cannot add money, please. Can you on the AC? That's why I ordered ride. It's not nice now. Someone will pay such amount and you will not on AC. Eh? I didn't hear you.
I think it's not cooling proper.
Okay, beg on the AC. This is how you people saying it's not cooling proper.
The amount you are paying is small for where I'm carrying it now.
16,900 is small. 16,900.
You know how much I buy for now? I buy for this at least 12,000 more than fuel. So which way I'm
16,900 is small.
It's small.
Okay, so this is currently 6 a.m. in the morning, and normally I was about to enter a bus from my bus stop to CMA, and normally the fare is usually around 400 to 300, and at this time, that when I was at the bus stop, it was like 550 or something, right? And the bus is usually around 300 or 400 as at the time you get. And then I got to the bus stop today on Monday, and this agro was already inflated the price to like 700.
The video you just saw now is the current reality of most Nigerians, and it's not going to get easier anytime soon. Like I said, the cost of fuel is currently 8,380 naira, as I bought yesterday. And in some places, it is way higher than that, which makes it really difficult for Nigerians to fend for themselves. When you look at the poverty index, it's becoming really alarming. There's been conversation around reduction in days of work, like work from home. Is there even electricity for people to work from home?
So that's not feasible at all, because for you to be able to implement that, you need to ensure that there's steady power supply. Already, remote workers are complaining. No, they were complaining way before all of these fuel hikes. They were complaining about the lack of electricity, which makes it difficult for them to carry out their jobs effectively. And some of them have had to some of them have been fired from their job because they keep giving excuses of no electricity, I can't join meeting right now, and all of that. Now, let us look back to the origin of this issue. Why is there a hike in fuel price? So there's an ongoing war between Iran, Israel, and the US. And now due to this war, the Strait of Hormuz, which is a tiny waterway where ships usually pass through to export oil, that has become a major target for Iran. Now, about 20 million barrels of oil is being shipped across that route on a daily basis. Now, because the ships are now targeted by Iran, they can no longer move oil, and now oil supply is low and the price of oil has now increased, which is now affecting us. I've heard a lot of Nigerians say, so how is that our business?
Okay.
How is that all your business? Because we're an oil producing state, right? So you'd think that it would not affect us. Normally, it shouldn't affect us in a negative way. So because we're an oil producing country, we should be making more profit, all right? But because we have now used most of our oils, including future oil, to get loan, it's impossible for us to really profit from this price increase. Instead, we are suffering the negative impact of it. Now, you know that Dangote refinery is one of the biggest refineries in Nigeria, operating at the maximum capacity of over 650,000 barrels per day. Now, Dangote refinery needs 13 barrels per day, all right, to operate at that capacity. NNPC supplies Dangote 5 barrels. Then Dangote has to import the remaining 8 barrels to make up the 13 barrels.
So it's sad. I love the analysis, you know, when you talk about what is happening and how it is affecting us Nigerians. Just to take it back a bit, right? Nigerians, we have 9 refineries, and we have 4 state-owned refineries.
Yeah.
That refineries are practically moribund. They are not functioning.
Yeah,
and then we have NNPC. We also have the Dangote refinery that, like you said, 650,000 capacity. When you talk about the production per day, right? And it's not even enough. But this is the painful part. Over the past decade, Nigeria has spent over 25 billion, that is roughly 11.35 trillion naira, repairing state-owned refineries, and yet they've become largely dysfunctional. Not just that, between 2025 and 2023, approximately 1.5 billion was approved for the Port Harcourt refinery, and roughly $1.48 billion for Warri and Kaduna refineries. Now, it is painful because beginning of this year, I think in February, NNPC basically had to shut down the other refineries. I'm talking about the GM or MD of NNPC literally had to shut down other refineries. And since then, imagine if Dangote refinery wasn't functioning, this would have been worse. But then it speaks to the bigger issue that is happening, especially when you talk about the oil sector. You know the way they say it, that rats will be biting you and they will be blowing you wrist just so you don't you don't feel it. I think that is what is happening in the oil sector, where we have people that would come out to say we're doing our best, we're ensuring this happens, that happens. But at the end of the day, when you look at the holistic picture, it's as though we're moving round in circle. Nothing is being done. Nobody is being held accountable. Now, in February, they had to shut down 4 of the refineries simply because they weren't being so productive, right? And now we're depending solely on Dangote refinery. So the interesting thing was that the CEO of Dangote refinery was on a rise this morning, and he made really shocking revelation. Apparently, NNPC is supposed to supply them at least 15 to 20 cargoes per month. However, NNPC is delivering 5 cargoes per month. And not just that, the man said, the CEO, I'm talking about David Bird, he said that there is a particular quality of crude that they want, especially because of the machine that they operate with. And it's difficult for NNPC to supply that. However, they would see it on international market and they would have to buy it at a higher price, which makes it really difficult. And I'm going to ask this question to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. When you came into power, and nobody should tell me, please, nobody should tell me this is an issue that has been on for decades. You came into power, you read your manifesto, and you told us what you were going to do. You talked about electricity. You removed fuel subsidy. I would never forget the first day you said fuel subsidy is gone. And from then it has increased and increased and increased.
You know, one of the major reasons why fuel subsidy was removed is to save money for the government. The question is, the money you've been saving, what are you using it for? They're using it, part of it, to service loans. Another question is, these loans that we keep collecting, what have you been doing with all of these loans? Because we do not have anything that we can point to us and say, this is exactly what the government is doing with all the loans they've been collecting.
So I do know that the FAC allocation has increased, and that is because of the removal of fuel subsidy. Again, it speaks to the irresponsibility of our leaders. The truth is we have the resources, and it's painful. It's painful because we just have a certain set of people who sit in the position of power, and they are not in terms or in touch with the reality. An average Nigerian man cannot have 3 square meals a day. It's as though people are just working. Let it be that they are busy. Let it be that they can get food on their table. And you know, the life goes on and on and on. And it's really painful. We have quite a number of tweets right here. This is from Melody that says, I guess there are categories and Nigerians. I guess there are categories and Nigerians are cost effective. There is boats and there is comfort. Asking for comfort benefits inside ordinary boats cannot work. I drive in Lagos and I know what this guys face out here. It will take him more than 7 liters from Ikorodu to Surulere. The app will deduct up to 20% at missed booking fee and other fares. Now, how much is left for the driver's earning, not to talk of maintenance? Hence why most of the drivers are lamenting and protesting. Now, this is not just affecting drivers, it's affecting everything.
The citizens.
It's affecting cost of food.
Let's not be selfish. The driver, your passengers are also suffering the same fate. And if you know you're not going to put on the AC, perhaps you should tell them, I'm not going to put on the AC, not when you've told them the amount. And how can you even tell someone that you can't put on the AC for a trip that costs 16,000, right? 16,000 naira. So how can you tell someone that, is that a small amount of money? That is not a small amount of money. And I think that we as citizens too, when you order a ride, you should also ask them, do you have AC? Are you going to put on your AC? So you know beforehand that if they're not going to put on the AC, you're just going to have to cancel the ride. We're all suffering the same fate. Nobody is suffering it all right?
We have another tweet right here, and this is from CJ that says, this is the same situation in Port Harcourt. You withdraw 5K in the morning from POS on your way to work, and you'll return home with only 450 naira in your pocket. Transportation alone takes about 60% of income, and it's not funny. Before we move to the next tweet, I want to say this. You know, Nigerians, we can be weapon fashioned against ourselves.
Exactly.
Because we end up taking advantage of situations, and that is why you see that as much as drivers would say, because of the cost of fuel, trust me, there are persons out there who would take advantage of this, who would want to double their prices times 3, times 4, It's really sad.
And you know, amidst all of this thing, the Honorable Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, has come out, apologized to Nigerians, saying that we're sorry for what has happened, and we will resolve the issue, and we're going to increase our outputs from 3,000 to 6,000, from 4,000 to 6,000. Well, you would think that that is a great thing, right? Nigeria is currently, our installed capacity is 13,000 watts, and where our output is way below that. It's 4,000, and now you're increasing it to 6,000. As much as that would seem like improvement, it's actually not an improvement, because you've been in power for about 3 years now. And for the 3 years you've been in office, you've not been able to increase power supply in the country. And you're coming out to apologize instead of tendering a resignation. Look, I don't care what anybody says, but the truth is, don't tell me do not compare office to running a nation. In an office, you're given 3 months probation. If you do not perform within those 3 months, you are advised to resign. And so why do we keep giving our leaders the grace of 3 years probation, 4 years probation? That is unfair. I feel like
the video. Let's take a look at the video.
6 months is enough for you to show your capacity, to show that you can actually carry out your responsibilities. If you cannot quietly tell us that I cannot handle this responsibility anymore, so I'm going to be dropping my resignation so somebody else can take over.
Let's take a look at the video. It happened yesterday at a press briefing where the Minister of Power apologized to Nigerians. Let's take a look at the video.
That for this temporary issue that is leading to hardship being experienced, especially during this dry season, where there is so much heat everywhere, where businesses are also being affected, where schools are being affected, where industries are being affected. It is not our wish to find ourselves in this situation, but it's some factors that's actually beyond our control. But we are not relenting. We are working on it 24/7 to make sure that we go back to the trend, to the trajectory of 2025.
So the video you just saw now was a video of the current Minister of Power, who had a press briefing yesterday, and he apologized to Nigerians. Finding indicates that power sector largely is dependent on gas plants, and has been hit by disruption in gas supply, worsened by pipeline maintenance challenges and liquidity constraint. Apparently, they are owing gas supplier about 4 trillion naira, which is questionable. But here's the thing, I would love to say this. You had mentioned that when you resume your job, you're given 3 months probation. You see, that is a lack of responsibility and lack of accountability. When you talk about governance and leadership, people on other parts of the world, when you're not able to deliver, you just quietly, honorably resign. But it's so difficult in this part of the world. You're not able to deliver, you cling onto a position, and you keep making excuses over and over again. Now, you've been in this position in the last 3 years. It's interesting that he would come out to apologize to Nigerians just a few days before APC convention, and in less than 10 months to election that will be happening in 2027. It's interesting that this is playing out now. But just to let the Honorable Minister know that Nigeria's national grid has collapsed, 22 times between the start of Tinubu's administration, and that is from June 2023 down to March 2026. The most unstable year was 2024, was recorded with 12 recorded collapses, while 2025 saw 5 incidents, and the grid had already collapsed twice in January 2026. Making a period of persistent instability in the power supply. Now, should we talk about small businesses that would shut down or that are shut down as a result of the epileptic power supply? Apology is not enough, Honorable Minister. The truth is, if you cannot get this done, you're telling us that you would get it done in the next 2 weeks, when you had last 3 years to get it done. If you couldn't do it in the last 3 years, what makes you think that you will do it in 2 weeks? And why are we playing on the intelligence of Nigerians? I mean,
if he's able to do it in 2 weeks, do you know what that says? it actually shows that they intentionally do not carry out their responsibilities. And it shows that they can actually do more. It also shows that they can actually do more during their tenure, during the period of 3 to 4 years. They can do more, but they decide not to do more. We're actually looking forward to see the magic he's going to perform.
Yeah, it's as though we're allergic to good things. Because, I mean, power is very important. Now we have the fuel hike and then there is no power supply. I mean,
yeah,
it's
so
like...
we have a tweet. We have a tweet from Ayelo Fayowole, and he says, Bayo Adelabu apologizing doesn't fix darkness. We've heard measures are being implemented more times than we've had stable light. Every new promise sounds like a remix of the last failure. Coming weeks in Nigeria, in Nigerian electricity language, can mean anything from moans to never. Meanwhile, people are burning fuel, businesses are collapsing, and students are reading with candles in 2026. At this point, Nigerians don't need speeches, we need results. Until the lights actually stay on, it's just another apology added to a long list.
We have this one from Kamali. Kamali says, I don't think I'm alone on this when I say resign, because this is a public service position, and if you find out that it is more difficult than you anticipated, the best thing to do is leave the position honorably for who fits the job's requirements. Why apologize? Your apology doesn't improve the electricity situation, neither does it make Nigerians whole. Just be courageous and resign respectfully.
And you know, resigning is not the only solution though, because even if he resigns, what is the guarantee that the next person would do a better job? Again, we need to have accountability measures. At the end of 1 year, what have you done so far? If you have nothing to show forth, then you should be advised to resign and then someone else takes over. As long as there's no accountability measure, we cannot really watch what these people are doing.
We have another tweet here. This is from Beefy Boy that says, apology equals to accountability only in Nigeria. Now, these are some of the tweets across social media platform on Twitter. Now, don't forget that you can be part of the conversation. Drop your comments. You can call us as well. This is the briefing room. We have one more story to go, so stay tuned. Briefing room will be right back. It is the briefing room right here. My name is Esther Melo.
And I am Kelvin Raphael. Well, we have been experiencing so much hardship in this country. And you know, when it comes to the electricity issue, it is not new. And during the last 2 years, which is 2023 to 2024, the national grid has collapsed more times than it has in history ever. And the fact that the president moved from the national grid to solar, that is very alarming. We talked about this before, and we said that, okay, maybe it's a good thing because it would give the national grid a breathing space so it would be able to function effectively, you know, since the load is being reduced. But then again, there's a tweet that caught my eye. It's very, very interesting. So, where is it? Oluwa Femi said, Egypt transformed its power plant system from a state of frequent shortages to an energy surplus by investing heavily in high-efficiency natural gas power plants. And following a series of blackouts, the government initiated a massive restructuring of its energy sector in 2015. Now, this whole plan resulted in addition of over 14.4 gigawatts of capacity, reaching 100% electricity capacity for Egypt. The question is, why can't Nigeria do the same thing? This is Egypt, a fellow African country. If they can do it, then we also can do it. Why do we keep making excuses?
It's really sad that in 2026, this is the same conversation we're having. But another video has caught our attention. I'm talking about the briefing room team, as well as even people on social media. And that is an ex-banker who made a video talking about contracts and how contracts tend to stifle and just choke people, and how it doesn't favor, the workforce. Let's take a look at this video. It's been trending across social media. Take a look.
It's just going to be the last I'm ever going to talk about it, because many of you contract staff in Nigerian banks, many of you are cowards, many of you are fools. So the bank just wake up one day and realizes that, okay, these people are getting too old for the system. Let's lay them off. Let's look for a valid, beautiful reason to give them, to send them home. Because many of them are in their 40s now. Some of them are close to 50. Some of them are light in their ages. Some of them are close to 50 now, and they're just like, okay, let's look for something fine to lay them off. And they lay them off. So First Bank will do it. Zenith Bank will do it. GT Bank will do it. UBA will do it. Every bank will do it, because this is like, to them, is a normal thing. It's a normal thing for them to steal people's time. The contract companies in Nigeria that are recruiting staff for these banks, all of you are cursed. All of you, you are cursed. Oh, you don't know. You are eating and feeding from the sweat. You are eating and feeding from the time of Nigerians, and nobody is talking about you. And for you, I'm particularly doing this video for the contract staff, you themselves. How long will you people keep quiet? How long will you people be afraid to rise up to your oppressors? I honestly prayed, I honestly wished that the day will come, that it would have happened in my lifetime, that I see that this revolution that I prayed for, that this revolution that I craved for, that it happened in my lifetime. But this is my disappointment. So I'm going to give up at this point, because the people in my generation, they are too afraid to speak up.
She is spitting absolute fact, and it's not just in the banking sector, it's in all sector, every area, everywhere you go, it's there. The saddest thing is the fact that Nigerians are so scared to stand up to their oppressors. Like I said initially, the change with so much desire will not be handed to us, can never be handed to us. We have to rise up and take it. We have to rise up, grab it, and run with it. That is what we need to do. It's so sad that we do not have proper systems. Every organization in Nigeria is designed to take advantage of you. It is so sad.
And the labor law is also very, very weak, if I can say that myself. So regarding this video, when I saw her, she spoke with so much passion. You can tell that this has sat deep, it has eaten deep, and she has sat with it for a long time, because at some point she got extremely emotional. But I'm going to say this, that nobody stops you from walking away. Sometimes we sign things and we get very comfortable. We get very comfortable to the point that we don't speak up for ourselves. We get very comfortable to the point that, oh, anything goes. The truth is, if you're doing a particular job and it doesn't serve you anymore, it is okay for you to take a walk. That is one part.
It's not so hard to walk away.
Secondly,
you know how scarce job is, which is why people stay back in these toxic situations.
Now, it's good that she's making this video. It falls on what is it called now? Agencies. It falls on organizations to sit up and work on this. If you're signing a contract as an individual, if it doesn't favor you, take a walk. We're talking about the Papa Jasco story. To be honest, let's drop the sentiment aside, because these businesses will do what is best for them. You as an individual, the onus falls on you as an individual to do what is best for you. You can't tell me that you're working 10 years of your life, 15 years of your life, and there is nothing to show for it.
Yes,
and you're okay. It is sad.
Are you looking at the economy? Are you looking at it? Do you know if you're earning 250,000 naira right now, it's equivalent to 50,000 naira in 2023? Do you know that? Your 250,000 naira salary is equivalent to 50,000 naira salary in 2023.
Kelvin, hold your thoughts. We have a call right here. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from? If the studio can help us so we can hear our caller very well. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Aba. My name is Uche.
Hello, Uche. Thank you so much for calling. Go ahead. We want to hear your comments.
Oh, Okay, yeah, I really appreciate this your program, seriously, this Act One, what you're giving. Because I just want to talk about this contract staff that the lady is even crying concerning what is happening in Nigeria. In fact, it's so saddening to hear that, to see that how companies are using staffs instead of staffing them. Because now if you're a contract staff, you all the rights, all the benefits that you're supposed to gain from the company, you won't able to have it.
Yeah. So
this is the issue that we're really facing in this country, and everything is still lying on this government, because government need to put a stop to what this company are doing to Nigerians, to the citizens, because we are being used, and all the benefits that we're supposed to benefit from it. Because if you're a contract staff, you are not entitled to a bonus. You are not entitled to allowances. You are not entitled to a lot of things.
Yeah.
You understand? Not things that you're supposed to be gaining from the company. Nigerians are going through a lot.
Yeah.
And now, nobody like to be a contract staff. If there's a lot of job, if I have to work with you and you're not ready to staff me, that means you don't want my service. I should have resigned and look for another job, because there is no job to do. That's why we are still patching, we are still managing it. Please, if it's possible, if our government is watching this, I'm very glad if they need to fix this. Because under labor law, you are only allowed to work as a contract staff.
Hello? All right, thank you. But thank you very much. Completely valid point.
Yes.
It's important that they've made this video. She has made this video. I think appropriate authorities should look into it. And then I would say this to oil companies, because again, this happens to mostly in the banking and the oil company, oil sector, right? I think we can do better. Don't treat people like slaves. Yes, they are contract staff. However, can we make it in such a way that after working for you, or while working for you, they still feel loved, still feel like staff as well?
Yeah, maybe just recruit them as full-time staff.
We have a couple of tweets right here. This is from Akube. Akube says, this goes beyond one person's frustration. It reflects a deeper structural issue in Nigeria's workforce, from banking to oil and gas and beyond. Many contract staff are working under conditions where speaking up can cost them everything. It's easy to call it fear, but in reality, it's the absence of protection and accountability. People want to be heard, but they also want to survive. Until labor law are properly enforced, contract systems are regulated, and workers have real backends, these stories will keep repeating. This isn't just a complaint, it's a signal that something is fundamentally broken. And I completely agree with this comment, Kelvin.
And then we have another tweet from Abiasta, and he says, giving up isn't the answer, but neither is framed revolution. The banking sector is evolving, and while there are challenges with outsourcing, many of our top executives today started from the bottom. Let's focus on constructive reforms and better welfare policies rather than using inflammatory language that helps no one. Hello, I get it. Let us focus on reforms. But who's going to ensure that these reforms stay, that these reforms are executed? Because, I mean, look what's happening in the country. We have rules, we have laws. But sadly, implementation is nowhere to be found. So we have reforms. Who's going to handle the reforms? We're just going to hear about it on paper. Who's going to execute it? That's another problem. So, again, she said that we need to rise up. That is what we need to do, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit down here and lie to you. The absolute truth is the government does not care about us. The government does not care about the citizens. They only care about themselves. You and I care about us. And so you and I have to unite and take back our country.
Thank you so much, Kelvin, for that very valid point. And I would say this just as we wrap up the conversation. The truth is, companies would always do what is best for them.
Yeah.
You as an individual, do what is best for you. Why we look at the reforms, why we look at our workforce, why we look at the labor laws being strengthened and implemented and enforced as well. Do what is best for you as an individual. It doesn't make any sense that you work 10, 15 years and there is nothing. absolutely nothing to show for it. It's been an amazing time having this conversation, bringing you up to speed with headlines, having conversations way beyond the headlines. Don't forget to join us again on Friday. Don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Act 1. My name is Esther Omelo.
And I am Kelvin Raphael. Nigerians, rise up and take back your country.
Thank you for being part of the show.
Pockets.